There's the statement made in the case comparing a Sichuan Tengzhong as the snake that there's enough to swallow an elephant. However, we as a team do not believe that is the case. Every Chinese firm has the potential to be a dragon. So in this case, we would like to make the main theme of the strategy as a dragon that swallows an elephant. Sichuan Tengzhong inevitably faced with two issues, which is the operational issues and the branding challenges. However, Tengzhong should enable to manage to overcome this problem first in the operational issue by creating the innovative culture and investing heavily in R&D.
And first, they have faced with the issue that how do they operate the Hummer in the US and how do they will collaborate. Actually, the issue of the HR, the employee and the production, how would they shift the production to China because their engineering support from the GM will end in the 2011. Therefore, this means that they have two years left for them to start building a plant in China and train the Chinese engineer. So here comes the question of the case that whether the company should maintain the martial symbol of Hummer car or not. So this is how we analyze this branding strategy. First, we say why should we say yes to martial image? We see martial image provide the company with a niche market, which the brand Hummer that Dengzhou has purchased already have a strong branding reputation in this kind of segment already, and they also a trend in China of when there are more people that trying to rewarding their life.
Dengzhou company get from authority is the first one, approval from Chinese government. Why? Because we have a solid plan to do business. We can elevate all the trouble in the US management, and so we have a plan to do well both in the US and in the China market.
You have further elaborations on how you describe it as a dragon?
First, because of the management team of the Dengzhou, that the core management team has a deep experience in doing M&A, and they also have done they have been high level in the Chinese Communist Party. Therefore, we believe that this management team are competent. In addition to that, in our personal view, we view that a snake, it will be the firm that try to acquire a cheap bankrupt company and sell it for profit for short run. But we don't want Dengzhou to do like that. We don't want them. We want them to be a dragon that turn bankrupt company into a successful brand.
What do you think is the main differentiating factor for Dengzhou where you think they will succeed?
First, because they plan to shift their production base into China, and this would eliminate the problem in the long run. But in the short run, we also have a deal with the GM that GM still support the engineering, still produce the Hummer car for us for the next 2 years. In addition to that, in our strategy, we emphasize a lot on multinational workplace and the multinational culture that we need to emphasize, and we would also, apply the same standard to both firms.
What is actually the real synergy between Tengzhong and Hummer? Wouldn't they have been much better off buying a heavy vehicle manufacturer abroad or construction industry vehicle manufacturer rather than buying Hummer?
Dengzhou has some company that is produced some parts of automobiles, and it can use that to be a raw material to produce in the Hummer.
Our agenda is first to provide a mandate. This mandate is in alignment with the current situation of your company, and also your strong desire to finish the M&A acquisition. And they will provide analysis in terms of internal and external factors. We list out the major options of this case provided with decision-making criteria. After we choose one or two most appropriate one, we will develop into very detailed implementation plan. Last but not least, we will also provide contingency plan with a summary.
First, let's look at the profitability. When we're doing our recommendation, we really need our recommendation to be
ensure the increase of the revenues of the firm in the future and to make sure that the company is going to make profit. And the next is about risk limitation. But we'll consider our recommendation. Our recommendation must take into consideration about the different risks involved during the implementation plan of the whole package. We cannot either be too aggressive that might have some bad influence on our capital structure of our company, and neither the too conservative, which actually the GE has been doing all this year, and why that is losing in the American market.
We have analyzed the situation of your business, and we have explored different possible courses of actions, and we now have determined the best implementation plan that meets your current business need and also your future expansion plan. So first, please have a look at the objectives we set for our implementation plan. We want to break even in terms of the human subsidy within 5 years, and also establish the production bases and distribution channels in China within 3 years. And finally, we want to position as the top 5 in Chinese automobile industry.
We know that U.S. market and Chinese market are totally two different markets. So we have both two positioning strategy. Let's look at the existing strategy now. For U.S., we are positioned as a functional product. But for China, it's a symbolic product. That means I have a prestigious status and I'm wealthy. So the target customer existing is the middle class in both countries. However, we would identify one value or a lifestyle in China is the customer we have like traveling a lot.
You want to become the top 5 producer in China, I think within 5 years. How do you want to do that with only one brand that is basically has a very limited appeal? You compete with with companies that sell light cars, small cars, fuel-efficient cars to millions of people, and you maybe sell only 50,000, 100,000 a year. How are you going to do that?
There are 3 points I want to address about this issue. The fact that the current situation of Tengzhong in China is not within the top 10 car producers even inside China in terms of its marketing strategy and also the capacity of its production. The things that we're going to introduce and invest is that over the next 3 years, we're going to invest heavily about the manufacturing facilities to open up building up the production line.
What are our chances of succeeding in getting this deal approved through government channels in China?
Thank you for your questions. We think that Chinese government relations is almost important in the short term, and that's why we put the lobbying with the government and building trust with management in the first phase of our implementation.
First phase or pre-first phase?
First phase.
During the whole process. Actually, the current situation we're doing now is not that satisfactory, and that's what we're here for. We're here suggesting the initiative of building up the trust building within the government, and we know that doing business in China is very special in terms of we have a special term for it, that's named guanxi, which means network. Actually, the CEO of the company, Yang Yi, he actually has some network within the Sichuan province, and that's one of the advantages we're going to capitalize in the future.
As with the current range of models, do you expect that you will get the government to buy in for you to build a manufacturing facility to produce more of these types of vehicles?
Thank you. So Hammer is actually some customers perceive us as very high oil consumption. But with the new products which we showed in previous slide, H2 and H3 issued by 2009, compared to the same level in terms of weight and capacity, is actually a huge decrease and much better than the market average. So in talking to the government, we need to first let them know that we have the initiatives and we have the framework to consistently develop our R&D, so make sure that we can reduce the oil consumption and the air pollution. And the second thing is the Chinese government, they are very passionate in supporting and encouraging, especially automobile industries, to go overseas and to transfer an R&D technology or production base back to China. So I think if we can show them we have a very solid business plan with an initiative in CSR and reducing the oil consumption and air pollution, I think that they will be most welcome to approve this plan and support the business in the long term.